Milton, this is Rebecca Lane, your public speaking instructor, and I wanted to give you a little bit of feedback on your visual presentation. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to play this a little bit, and we'll take a look at the rubric, we'll take a look at the assignments, we'll take a look at the this slide example that I think is pretty great. And let's see what you got here.
Hello, my name is Milton Price, and I'm doing my visual presentation.
So the very first thing, and this isn't going to count for a lot, but it's something that you will want to adjust. Right now you sound pretty bored, maybe a little bit sleepy, any of those things, and probably this is not your favorite thing to do, and I completely understand that. But you want to try to bump your enthusiasm up just a little bit. Also, make sure you're following the rules that we talk about with public speaking, with opening with an attention getter or a hook. Starting with hello, this is my name, and this is my topic. That's exactly what we are focusing on not doing. On the other hand, this picture that you're starting with here, this is just lovely. I love how large it is. It's a high quality image. Nice work with this image. Okay, so let's play a little bit more.
On my dream job. And my dream job is being a record producer and a songwriter.
Okay, so one of the things that you're doing really well, I love that I can see this source citation down at the bottom. Excellent. I love that you've got these consistently large images. Well done. So one of the things that you want to think about is the text. So you've done a really great job, and let's look at the rest of this. You're using a consistent font, I think. Let's see. Yeah, you've got this consistent font, and that is excellent. So now what you want to do is you want to start to choose a color palette. So when you look at here, these are the things that you are being graded on. So you've got background color, layout of elements, thoughtfully designed, trying to enhance visual appeal. Design elements are clearly observed. So this is with the design and arrangement. And then with the text and grammar, we're looking for clear, concise, outstanding grammar, consistent use of font, adequate size. Okay, so when we're looking for adequate size, this is super tiny. Let's look at this example right over here. So this is an example of a slideshow that's really quite excellent. And you see how huge this type font is? This is probably in the 300s. So what I'm guessing is that right here you're at font type 42, size 42. And if you had more text, it would make sense to be that small, or if you were contrasting it with a larger word, that would make sense also. But right now, this kind of, you see how this feels kind of accidental? It's kind of apologizing to be there. So really make sure that your text is really large. So when we click through these, you see how this size remains consistent. So one of the other things I want to call your attention to is this concept of color palette, and we talk about it a little bit in the slides, and it was definitely mentioned in the go-to meeting. But if you look at this slideshow, do you see how there's a color palette? So what colors do you think are in that color palette? By now, hopefully, you have noticed that we've got orange and black and white, and it's there pretty consistently, right? And so sometimes it changes, the color that the words are changes where those colors are, but those colors almost always appear in every single slide. So this is the kind of thing that we want to have here. So right now you're being relatively consistent. You've got white text, but what are the other colors in your color palette? Choose one color that is not black and that is not white. And the way you'll want to represent that is either with extra large text like this, or you can also use shapes. And we can talk about that in just a second. So let's play a little bit more.
People want to know why you want to be a record producer. And I know it's a common thing these days that a lot of people want to do. And I don't want to do it because it's an easy thing. First reason I want to do it, and what made me want to do this, is I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, which is the home of his.
This is a nice choice of text, admiration. I think that adds a lot to what you are saying right here. And this picture is really cool. I like this Motown and all of that. So this is fun. I like this. Cool, nice work. With this text, you still want to make sure that I love that you're using the same font, and I noticed that you changed color, and it's probably against the white background. But you really have to have one other color that is not black or white, and really play with making this bigger. So try using 300 font size and see what happens. And if that doesn't work, try 200, but something bigger than what you've got.
USA, aka Motown. I admire what Barry Gordy did with the artist that he chose, and he chose the best sound for him. And I wanted to do the same thing and be respected in the same way. Um,
Okay, so this is fun. I think this is interesting that you did this with the white and the black, but it's also a little bit distracting. So you see how the picture, um, it feels like stripes, right? Because we've got the uh, extra black stripes on the side there. So what you'll want to do is you want to choose. I would recommend choosing a black slide background so that you don't have to do this, even though, I mean, that does look really cool. But one of the things you'll want to try to do is try using shapes. Yeah.
I had some years of experience. I started playing the drums at 5. And the first time I touched the drums, I knew that music is something I wanted to be a part of my life and I wanted to do for a long time. And years later, I started playing the piano. I took piano lessons, and the same year I took guitar lessons. And after I did that, and 1 year, I knew that music was something I just had to do with, and so I can be able to express myself.
Okay, so right now I love the pictures that you've chosen, and we've talked about the text already, so I'm not going to say that again. But one thing, so your storytelling is pretty good, but what I'd like to hear you do is really focus on your articulation. So really focus on that delivery, so your story sounds a lot more crisp. But really, that is what I'm looking for. You're off to a great start, Milton. Nice work. So this is probably. If I were going to look at a rubric. Okay, so let's double check. So you've got your references, that's good. You're using large images all the way through, that's good. Major thing is you need a color palette, so add another color besides white or black to appear on every single slide. Other major thing, make sure that you add larger text. Keep the consistent use of large images. That's excellent. When you do post, make sure that you respond to one of your peers. So do not forget to do that. That is 25% of this grade. Attribution, you're doing great there. Connection to presentation. This is good. Focus on your delivery a little bit more to get full credit in this. Text, grammar, and mechanics. The only thing that you would lose points with this here would be the size of your text. So you really want to make sure that your text is larger and following the concepts that are represented here. And then finally, with design and arrangement, you would lose a couple of points here simply because we're looking for that color palette, so one extra color besides white or black. And I didn't mention this before, but we're also looking for a consistent text placement. So do you see how your text jumps around a little bit? Right, then it's there. And I understand why you're doing this, because you're working to use the negative space, and that's excellent. It's a really good impulse. But we are also looking to make our own template, you know what I mean? So really work to make sure that your text has some consistent placement. Okay, Milton, let me know if you have any questions. You're off to a really great start, and I think you are moving closer to that 98 that you need to get in this class. Let me know if you have questions, and I looking forward to seeing how this evolves. Talk to you soon.